So now we have this system of equations, two equations, two unknowns. We want to solve using Cramer's rule. By the way, you're going to notice pretty quickly on this one that some of our real algebra techniques can be used, but they're not necessarily easily used. In other words, these numbers here, you have to multiply both equations by something to get the elimination method to work here. And substitution, you're going to have a fraction you're substituting. So it becomes a little bit more of a challenge. The first thing you always want to do with Cramer's rule is you always want to find that determinant that is the denominator, D, for any of these problems. Because we got to make sure this is not 0. If it's 0, we're going to have to stop Cramer's rule. So we always want to do this first to check. So I want you to write down what you think the numbers are that go into this determinant. How many of you have something that looks like this determinant right here? Some hands. Some heads going up and down. Do you have any questions about how I get to this determinant right here? Okay. Again, it's just these coefficients in that same order. X's and Y's to keep those columns consistent. So find it. Do we agree with that answer? Okay. Now we need to be able to find the matrix D sub x. This is going to be the numerator of my x quantity. And so how do I make an adjustment to this to create the D sub x matrix? So these answers go right here. 10 and 5. What stays home in the problem? The y coefficients. And then we find this determinant again, right? Questions about that? You're still holding that, aren't you?
I just don't see the relevance yet.
D sub y, how is it different? So this column is going to take the place of the y's, is that right? What goes in the x column? The x coefficients. Let's find it. What we get? Okay. So if we divide, we get what? X equals D sub x over D, negative 40 over negative 23. Y equals now through algebra we could find all this, but we'd end up with all these fractions of 23rds and all that kind of stuff. One of the things about Cramer's rules allows us to avoid working with as much fraction operations as sometimes we do in some of our other algebra. That's one of the advantages that we end up with this. Questions about that? Anybody want to see it done one of the other traditional methods to verify that it really does match?